Hello my dear crochet friends, welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to be making this spiral wind spinner, and you can make it in any color at all that you would wish to make it. You can make it in the colors of your flag or football team that you follow or your children follow. I'm going to be making it in the evil eye colors today, and this is the charm that is going to be hanging from the wind spinner. Like here I have put tassels on this one, but you can also make tassels. But I'm going to make a evil eye charm to hang from the wind spinner. And for this, we have used the same colors that we're going to be using in the spinner. That is, I've used black for the center. You can also use a navy blue if black is very difficult to work with. I've used a lighter blue, and we have white, and we have a darker blue. So, and I'm making this with cotton yarn, but of course you can make it with acrylic also. For my project here, I am using a 2.5 millimeter hook with mercerized cotton. Just make sure that you're using the same yarn for all the rounds. Otherwise, the swirl won't come out perfectly. So to start with, you're going to chain as many number of chains as you want. You can chain 90, or you can chain 100, or if you want your wind spinner to be a little longer, here I have 120 chains because my balcony is really huge, and a smaller wind spinner does not really show, so I'm going to be making a longer one. But of course you can make it any size you want. You can even make smaller ones, and you can make multiple and put them on a curtain rod, or you can tie them on a string and tie them up in the balcony, or you could even hang them from trees. They look really pretty. So for the first row, you simply chain as many as you want. And for the second row here, we will be we'll be starting with the light blue color. And to start the second row, after you finish the first row, you just snip off the yarn, and we're going to be attaching the light blue yarn to the first chain that we've made. Remember to carry this yarn along so that you don't have too many tail ends to be weaving in later on. So for the first row here, we are simply going to do a chain two, uh, and we are going to be doing a half double crochet into the same first stitch. The first chain two, of course, acts as your first half double crochet, and then we have a second half double crochet going into the same chain. And for every single chain in this row, we are simply going to be working two half double crochets into each of the chains, whether they are 50 chains, 80 chains, or 100 chains, or even longer. You just need to do two half double crochets into each of the chains. By doing two in one, we are like basically increasing the stitch count in this row. And as you keep increasing the stitch counts in every row in the following rows also, your wind spinner will start to curl up, and that is what we want. And if you do not want your wind spinner very wide, in that case, instead of a half double crochet here in the first row after the chaining, you can also do a single crochet row. So you can simply do one single crochet all along the end of this row, and you can snip off the first color. So I want it a little wider. I like it that way. So I am doing two half double crochets in the first row into each of the foundation chain. So here I'm not going to be working all the 100 chains or 120 chains, because the same pattern is to be repeated till the end of the row. So it can get quite boring to watch. So you need to only put two single crochets or two half double crochets into each of the chains that you have created for the base. So when you reach the end of each row, you're going to be cutting off this color because we will not be using it again. You just do a chain one at the end and snip off the yarn, and of course you will have to weave in the ends later on at the end of the project, or if you want to do it immediately, it's a good idea to weave in all the ends. So here I'm just showing you a small sample, and we are just going to be repeating two half double crochets into each of the chain for the entire length of we can see that it's already, if I hold it like this, it is already curling a little bit. It will do so more and more as we add the next 2 rows. So the light blue row will finish here. When you come to the end of the last chain here, you simply do a chain 1 and snip the yarn. So here, since I'm doing only a small row, I'm snipping it off here. You can continue to work till the end of the row and then snip it off. And for the second row, and we will be starting each of the rows at the same place where we started our chain. We started our first row of half double crochets. We will be next joining the white yarn here, and we will be joining it to the, if you remember, we did a chain 2 instead of the double crochet. We started with a chain 2, and into that first chain 2, top of the chain 2, we are going to be adding the white yarn. And again, you will carry along this white yarn so that you don't have to weave in the end at this corner. So this time, instead of a chain 2, we are going to be doing a chain 3 because we want to increase the size of the spinner. And I'm going to be doing a double crochet into the same first chain. So the chain 3 here counts as our first double crochet, and we've done a second double crochet into the chain, and we will go in to the next chain and carry along this white thread, and we will be doing 2 double crochets into the same chain. So like we did 2 half double crochets into each chain in the last row, here into each of these chains we are going to be doing 2 double crochets, 1 and 2. Into the next chain we're going to be doing 1 and a second double crochet. I'm going to be doing 1 and a second double crochet into the same. You don't, anybody can make this. If you know just the basic stitches of single crochet, half double crochet and a double crochet, you can make this. It doesn't use any complicated stitch counts or anything at all. You just keep repeating the same thing over and over again. The first row you do either a single crochet or a half double crochet row where you do 2 single crochets or 2 half double crochets into each of the chains. And in this row we are going to be doing 2 double crochets into each of the chains. So I'll just work this row with you, and I will show you how to do the next row for a few stitches, and then you can carry on your own. And then I will show you how to do the edging. There are 2 different ways to do the edging. If you are familiar with reverse single crochet, we can make the edging using that. Or if you're not very comfortable doing the reverse single crochet, I will show you a simpler method to do it, whereby you just need to do 1 slip stitch and a chain, and you will still get a very pretty border. And the edge looks really nice, especially when it is swirling in the wind. The edging gives it a special beautiful look. So here we are just going to be doing 2 double crochets. You can already see it curling nicely. So continue to do your 2 double crochets. Of course, your chain will be much longer than this because I'm just doing a small sample with you. Yes, it needs a little bit of patience and it's very repetitive to keep on doing it, but then also it is a good practice for beginners because you can practice your double crochet and your single crochets and getting the rows straight and not messing out any stitches. Just remember, if you want, you can of course always put a stitch marker at the end, but in this project you don't need to do it because at the end of the row you're not continuing the same color on to the next row, and you're just going to be snipping off each row at the end. So here I'm at the end of this row, so here I'm going to just snip off because I'm doing a small sample. I've just left it here, but otherwise we will continue the entire length. So after doing this, we have now done 2 rows, and for the third row here I'm going to bring in the darker blue color, and we did a chain 3 to start with. Here we can see this 1 2 3, and again into this third chain here on top I'm going to join the dark blue. and I'm going to do a chain 3 again. Chain 3 into the first stitch, and into the same one I am going to be doing another double crochet. So again, this row we are increasing, meaning that into every double crochet that we did last row, we are going to be doing 2 double crochets into each of that stitch. So again, into the next, I'm going to be doing 2 double crochets. Into the next, again, we're going to be doing 2 double crochets. So you can see here, it is curling up nicely and all the colors are showing. You have your inner row, then you have the lighter blue, and now you have the white. And for the edging, of course, you can use a contrasting color, or you can continue with the last color that you're working with, which is the dark blue. You can begin your edging with the same color. I can show it to you with a contrasting color, maybe with a white, because it will show much better. So here I'm going to be simply working 2 double crochets into each of my stitches from the last row. So I will continue to go on making these 2 double crochets, and I will see you when I reach the end of the row. Okay, so here I'm almost at the end of the row and I just have 2 stitches left in my smaller sample. You will of course work the whole row. And now I'm going to be showing you how to do the edging. If you're going to continue with the same color with which you finish, then you don't snip off. We are simply going to chain 1 and we do a reverse single crochet. So for reverse single crochet, you will simply come into the previous stitch and you will do a single crochet, and you will come into the previous stitch. It's a little difficult to see on camera, but you just twist your arm a little bit and then you go into the previous stitch and you do a single crochet, and you go into the previous stitch and you do a single crochet. Just bend your arm, go into, now you can see here that this is the previous, we're working backwards. So you go into the previous single crochet, pull the yarn and simply do a normal single crochet. It's just that we are, instead of working from this way to this way, we are working backwards. This is the reverse single crochet. So going into the previous, pull up the thread, just turn your arm a little bit, turn your hook inwards and you find your previous stitch and you pull the thread from under and you do a single crochet. So again, go into the previous stitch, pull up the thread and do a single crochet, and go into the previous thread, pull up a thread, and there. You can see this twisted kind of edging that is coming along really nicely. So you can either do this, or if you find doing this edging difficult, if you find it difficult to go backwards and do the reverse single crochet, I will show you a simpler way, but we'll still have a nice edge. So what we do is, I'll show you with a different color. So you can cut off the yarn once you finish your last double crochet row, and you can just go into the first stitch here and you can pick up your contrasting color, not necessarily white. You can just any color that is contrasting with the rest of your wind spinner, and then just pull through the yarn. Sorry for the fumble, it's just not coming through. Okay, so here for the other edging, you simply chain 1 and you're going to go into the next stitch and you're going to do a slip stitch and you're going to chain 1, go into the next stitch, do a slip stitch and a chain 1, go into the next stitch here, bring it through, slip stitch and chain, go into the next stitch, do a slip stitch and chain. Into the next stitch we do a slip stitch, and after the slip stitch you do a chain. Into the next stitch, slip stitch and a chain, and we're going to do a slip stitch and a chain. So this also looks pretty, and here we've done the reverse single crochet. This also looks pretty. You can also do the reverse single crochet in a contrasting color. You can snip off this here and just join with a slip stitch any color of your choice and work back a reverse single crochet. Or if you find this easier to do, you can always do this edging. This is a slip stitch followed by a chain, slip stitch, chain, and at the end of the row you simply do a chain one and you snip it off. Okay, so now we will go on to making this charm. You need to have two pieces because we will be attaching both these pieces together, and we'll sew them up, and we'll be adding fiber fill to the center. So for this, again, I'm using, for the center I'm going to be using black. You can use any color, dark blue or black. And for this we are going to be doing a magic ring, or if you find it difficult to do a magic ring, you can also do a chain 5 and create the center space into which we are going to be working. So into the magic circle you should be able to pull tight later on. If you don't find it easy to do a magic circle, simply do a chain 5 and make a circle. I'm going to do chain 2, and after that I'm going to be doing this. Chain 2 is your first half double crochet, and we are going to be doing 11 more double crochets, half double crochets into the ring, which means totally we are going to be having 12 half double crochets into this magic ring or the chain 5 ring that you're creating as a center space. So we have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You can pull your ring tighter if it is difficult to work with. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let me just count how many I have. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11, 12. Okay, so when you have 12 half double crochets, you just slip stitch to the first chain 2 that you did. That was also your first half double crochet, and you have your center. If you're doing a magic circle, then simply pull it tight so the hole is not visible. And if you have a chain 5, when you do your 12 half double crochets, it will not show anymore. So at the end of this round, you can simply chain 1 and cut off the black. We will not be using it further. So for the second row, I am going to be introducing, you can weave in the ends at the back later on. So for the second row, I'm going to be introducing the light blue here. So you can just add the light blue with a slip stitch into any of the 12 half double crochets you have done. So black is difficult to work with. So here for the first row we have done 12 half double crochets. For the second row, for the light blue, we are just going to join it to any of the 12 half double crochets, and you're going to do chain 3, and you're going to work one double crochet into the same ring. So we have 2 double crochets into the first chain. So if we have 12 half double crochets in this round, we will be doing 2 double crochets into each of them. So by the end of the row, you should have 24 double crochets. So just work around each of the previous rows half double crochet, making 2 double crochets into each of them. So continue working on this, and I will join you when I finish the 24 double crochets. Okay, so here I'm almost at the end of the second row, and we have done 2 double crochets into each of the 12 half double crochets in the last row. And once you have your 24 double crochets, you will slip stitch to the first chain and you will snip off this color. Now we're going to be adding the next color in the evil eye, and that is going to be the white color. So here you can join it to any of the stitches that you wish. And once we join, you can remember to just carry this white thread along. Okay, so for this row, we are going to be doing chain 3, and we will be doing another double crochet into the same chain. So for the first row we did 12 double crochets, and for the second row we did 2 into each, so we have 24 double crochets. And for this round the pattern repeat is going to be 2 double crochets into the first stitch and 1 double crochet into the second stitch and 2 double crochets into the next stitch, and we're going to be doing 1 double crochet into the next stitch. So 2 into the same and 1 double crochet into the next. So we're doing 2 into the next, and we're doing 1 into the next. I'm going to do 2 into the next, and we're going to be doing 1 double crochet into the next stitch. We'll repeat this all the way around for this round. So at the end of this round, you should have 36 double crochets. Last round we had 24 at the end of the round, and this round you should have 36 double crochets when you finish the round. And once you finish the last double crochet, slip stitch into the first chain 3 that we did, and you can cut off the yarn here because we will be working with the dark blue next. My hair is again into my project. Two into the next. I'll be doing 1 into the next, 2 into the next, 1 into the next, 2 into the next, and 1 into the last one. And here should have 36 double crochets at the end of this round. You slip stitch to the first and you can cut off the yarn here. So we have 12 half double crochets, then you have 2 into each, so we have 24 double crochets, and in this row we have 36 double crochets. And for the next round we are going to be joining in our dark blue. So for this round, the pattern repeat is going to be, we'll start with join your blue yarn, and we're going to chain 3, and we are going to do a double crochet into the same stitch. So here we have 2 double crochet into the same, into the next stitch. You can hide the yarn from the previous row. You're going to do 1 double crochet, and into the next we are going to do 1 double crochet. So the pattern repeat for this round is going to be 2 double crochet into the same, 1 into the next, 1 into the next, and into the next again we are going to be doing 2 double crochets into the same stitch. So you'll repeat this all around. You will do 2 1 1 2 1 1. So at the end of this row you should, if you have your numbers correct, you should end up with 48 double crochets. So here I have 2, then 1 1, 2 double crochet in the same, 1 1, and here I'm going to be doing 2 double crochets into the same. Then I'm going to be repeating 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, 1 1, and now we do 2 into the next. So I'm going to repeat this all around and you do the same, and I'll see you at the end of the row. Okay, so I'm almost at the end. I've done the last 2 into the same, and I will be doing 1 into the next 2, and now we have 48, and here we are going to be slip stitching to the top of the chain 3 that we started the row with. Okay, so now I had made one piece earlier, I have made the other piece now, so now we will be joining them both together. And for joining them both together, you simply put them wrong sides together. This is the right side, this is the right side. We put both the wrong sides together, and we have 48 stitches in each of the pieces. So you will simply just join this to the other piece. You can take both these loops from both the pieces, and you will do a single crochet, and we will go into the next stitch and take the corresponding stitch on the other piece at the back here, and you can do a single crochet and the next stitch on your top piece here, and you will see the corresponding stitch onto the back piece here, and you can do a single crochet. So we are simply going to join both the pieces by taking the top one and the bottom one and doing a single crochet all around, but we will not finish it because we need to leave some space for filling the fiber. So maybe you can if we have 48 stitches, so maybe you can do your 40 single crochets joining both the sides, and you can keep a little bit of gap where we will be filling the fiber. So I will just work around a row of single crochets all around, and I will see you when we have about this much space left to fill the fiber. Okay, so I have done almost 42 stitches out of the 48, and I have left this small hole, and I have this fiber fill here which I'm going to stuff. Don't fill too much because it will lose the shape. Just remember to fill enough but not too much. You still have to work the rest of the single crochet stitches, so remember to leave some space on top and don't fill it so much that your yarn gets entangled in the fiber when you're going to close this up. It won't give a neat look. So here I think I have enough of the fiber fill, so just tuck it in nicely. You can also use your scissors or the back of your hook, and once you've filled enough, you're simply just going to do rest of the single crochets and close the space, and then we will do our final row. So here, just closing up the few single crochet stitches left, And after this, we are just going to give it a nice finishing row. That will be the last row. And of course, you can decorate the charm with some beads or tassels. Or if you just want to leave it like that, you can just simply add this to the end of your wind spinner by stitching it together. So for the last row here, see, it's looking really nice already. If you want, you can add the last row, which will give it even a better look. So here we are going to do, wherever you finished your last single crochet, so here is the first single crochet, so wherever you finished, you're simply going to chain 2, and you're going to do 1 double crochet in the same stitch, and you're going to do 1 half double crochet also in the same stitch. So we have chain 2 and we have 1 double crochet and 1 half double crochet, and then you're going to skip 1 stitch, and this is the next stitch you're going to skip, and you are going to you're going to do a slip stitch into the next stitch and slip stitch into the next stitch, and here you're going to do chain 2 and you're going to do a double crochet into the same, and you're going to do a half double crochet into the same stitch. You've worked into this stitch, so this is your next stitch. You're going to do a slip stitch into the next stitch, again a second slip stitch, and on this stitch now again you're going to do chain 2 and you're going to work a double crochet into the same stitch, and you're going to work a half double crochet into the same stitch, and after you finish that, you're going to slip stitch into the next, and you're going to slip stitch into the next. So you can see this beautiful pattern is coming along. So you can just, after you do this, you're going to slip stitch and you're going to slip stitch, you're going to do chain 2 and you're going to do a double crochet and you're going to do a half double crochet in the same. Slip stitch, slip stitch, chain 2, 1 double crochet, 1 half double crochet, and slip stitch to the next, slip stitch onto the next, and chain 2. You can see this pattern coming on the edge nicely. You just repeat this all around. Chain 2 and you do a double crochet and you do a half double crochet all in the same, and you slip stitch to the next 2 stitches, and on the second stitch again you start a new petal. So you just work this all around, and I will finish the row and I will join you. So I'm back here after doing the petals all around. If you don't want so many petals, then after doing the first petal, you can also skip 1 stitch, then do your 2 slip stitches and work the next petal. It completely depends upon your personal choice. If you don't want so many of these, then you can leave some spaces by finishing 1 petal and then skipping 1 stitch altogether and then doing 2 slip stitches and starting then with the second petal. But I'm making this one with lots of petals. I have worked with less petals also, where I have skipped 1 stitch or I've skipped 2 stitches and then I've done the slip stitch and started the next petal, so that they are a little bit of they are a little far apart from each other, so you don't have to work so many petals. So here we are. So I'm going to slip stitch and I'm going to slip stitch here into the first, and here we have finished the charm. So from here what you can do is you can simply chain as many as you want. Let's say you want to you want it longer or you want it shorter, then I have a small sample here which I made earlier, so which I'm just going to show you for an example. So this is your wind spinner, and the edge of it, you can just make as many chains as you want from the charm, or you can also attach this directly to without having any chains. You're just going to take this and you're going to work this into the end of your charm. So you can also add some beads to the end of the once the charm is completed. You can, instead of chaining, you can just use a darning needle and add some beads to it. Like in this one I have added beads, and I have joined it to the end of the wind spinner, one end of it. And I have these are ready-made tassels. Of course you can make your own tassels also, or you can join a charm to it. And onto the top end of your wind spinner, you'll simply attach your yarn and work as many chains as you would like. So this can be used for hanging onto whatever, a rod, or if you want to hang it from a tree, and you can just hang it. And here I have a small one, of course, but this is the charm, and we have attached it to the bottom of the wind spinner. And on top you can work as many chains as you want and use it as a hanging. So I think this looks really cute, and you can make it in any colors. You can also add different charms to your wind spinners, or you can simply make a tassel out of the same color yarn and you can attach it to your wind spinner. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, and if you have made a wind spinner using this pattern, please do uh, attach the pictures in the comments, or let me know uh, if you have any doubts at all, and I'll be happy to help you. And till next time then, thank you for watching. Bye.